Hi, this is the beginning of a new playlist all about corporate culture management. Most people think of corporate culture, they think, well, that's sort of a soft, abstract, no big deal kind of thing. But I'm here to tell you that if you want to have fantastic results on a sustainable basis, you have to make the corporate culture very visible and manage it. In this first slide, basically, it's kind of an agenda of questions that I will address in this playlist. First of all, I'll talk about what is corporate culture. I mean, simply put, it's how we do things around here. Maybe in a little bit more nebulous way, if you asked fish, what are you swimming in, they wouldn't know what you're talking about. They just, water's all around them, it's in them, it's just what we do. So we go to work and we don't really think about all the stuff that's around us that sort of shapes what we do and how we do it and so forth. You can, Google this kind of term and you'll see stuff about mission, visions, values, norms, strategies, systems, symbols, work language. But most of these are abstractions, and most people sort of start to gather what the corporate culture is by stories, and the stories often have heroes, or there are what are called artifacts, sort of iconic things that emerge. I mean, it could be your building. Your building is here, and because your building's here, other things start to happen over time. And behavior patterns start to evolve. And they not only do they evolve, they accumulate. So even as the environment changes, we keep doing old stuff because we just keep doing old stuff. When we go to try to explain to a brand new person, this is how we do things around here. We could use a term I call cultural meme. It's the smallest indivisible idea that can go from my brain to your brain, which is, okay, if you're going to work in this area, let me show you where the men's room is, because you're going to need to use that. And so I'll take them over there and show them where the men's room is. And I'll show them where they can get office supplies, and I'll show them how to do certain things. This is all sort of the culture. It's how we do things around here. Maybe a most important bottom line question is, how profitable and motivating are the very best cultures? And when researchers go out and ask, very cult-like star companies, think Southwest Airlines, Nucor Steel, Disney, Zappos online shoe company, what percent of your profits would you attribute to the quality, intensity, the effectiveness of your culture? It's not uncommon to get answers of 50 to 70%. So it seems to be a way of creating very large sustainable profit power if it's a very healthy, agile culture. Now, it might be dysfunctional more or less, and therefore it could be eating up profits in a way. So we'll get into that a little bit. We'll look at the history of corporate culture management, going back to Taylorism, where Frederick Winslow Taylor had a stopwatch and was basically creating mass production efficiency and breaking things down to the simplest little task, because the people who were doing it were illiterate in their native language, and there were 80 different languages being spoken on the floor of the Ford Motor Plant in 1914. That was later on was called Theory X. Well, there's a good history to it, and there's been a lot of research done, particularly in the last 20 years, on corporate culture and how do you take it from a unintentional accumulation of stuff that surrounds the business to a very intentional science. We might ask, why are most change initiatives and strategies dead on arrival? Because as soon as we roll it out, people go, yeah, that's great, boss, I'll tell you whatever you want to hear, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing. In other words, the culture, how we do things around here, basically stops all these change initiatives. If we want to define and improve our culture to help it work for us as opposed to against us, we have to get in touch with really 5 different interdependent factors. You see them down here at this level here. First of all, with net profit analytics, we can actually go back and rethink our strategy. And I call this the core renewal strategy, because when we find out how profitable our core business is and how, in a sense, under-focused and underachieved it has been, there's lots of upside there, partially because we've been distracted by other parts of the business that frankly we shouldn't be in, or if we should be in, we have to be on a profitable basis, and then some of the customers may choose not to do business with us. But nevertheless, we're looking at a double in sales and a quadruple in profits kind of a magnitude. So we have analytics that helps us to refocus our strategy, but then this makes our leaders start to rethink their mindsets. It's like, whoa, you know what? It turns out we make money not by pushing, more and more products from more and more suppliers to more and more customers. That's become not just the law of diminished returns, it's become the law of increasing losses. We need to turn this around and get refocused. So that's a third fact, which is leadership. And then we start to realize, well, wait a minute, if we want things to happen, we have to empower the people to want to make the change happen. So that's where corporate culture becomes a factor, number 4 here. And then, of course, if we have good new leadership mindsets and we have good new core renewal strategy upside and we have a good new culture, then we can execute. So execution capabilities come alive because of the other 4 things. You'll see how these interplay later on. And then just basically the punchline, which is, we need to start intentionally managing our corporate culture, or it will continue to unknowingly limit us in what we're doing. Now is a very good time to act because the economy is very stressful, too much supply, not enough demand, etc. So we will have to innovate. We have to take our business to the next level. So in the last part of this playlist, we'll look at some ideas on how we can define what our culture is right now, and we can sort of get a vision of what we would like it to be. Now we have a gap, and how would we close that gap? So that's all coming ahead in this particular playlist. Thank you.